Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. I'm Amy, and today is the Great Cookie Bake of 2025. We do have some special guest hands today, my mom-in-law and my sister-in-law. Hi! We're making a feast of cookies today, so I'm just gonna rattle them off. We've got Praline Snickerdoodles, Almond Joy Cookies, Butter Spritz Cookies, Cream Cheese Cookies, Jam Thumbprints, Chocolate Crinkle Cookies, and Coffee Toffee Cookies. We're also making some cookie adjacent recipes too. We're making Ultra-Nutty Pecan bars, chocolate covered Almond Toffee, and gluten-free, dairy-free lemon blueberry bars. Phew! Okay, so I'm not adding a full ingredient view for this one like I normally do because the pile of ingredients is massive and so many of them overlap with other recipes that it'll just end up being a confusing pile of stuff. I will be linking all the recipes we make today in the description below, so since we have a marathon ahead of us, let's get cooking. We're starting with one of our cookie adjacent recipes since this one needs to set after it cooks and it's going to have all day to sit and become the tasty bars that they are. These Ultra-Nutty Pecan bars are a tip of the hat to pecan pie, and they're a perfect substitution if you need something more portable than a pie, especially if you want to cut it up in small pieces and put it in tins as gifts. It gets a quick butter crust on the bottom of our 9x13 baking dish, and then a sticky coating to toss with our pecans. Pack that all in the pan, bake it at 300 for 25 to 30 minutes, and then just sit it somewhere out of the way to cool and set completely before cutting them all up into bars or squares. Now we're gonna get going on the stuff we need to chill in the fridge for at least an hour so we can get other things going while those are chilling. The Snickerdoodles are the first stop, and these are the best Snickerdoodles ever because not only are they rolled in cinnamon and sugar like other Snickerdoodles, they have pecans and toffee in them too. These things are like regular Snickerdoodles that have been working out so they can become super Snickerdoodles, and I am so here for these. When the dough is all mixed up and the pecans and toffee are all folded in, we're gonna pop these in the fridge for about an hour. We also need to make the cream cheese cookies, and these things are like little delicate pillows of cream cheese and sugar, which is sort of like the best of two worlds, really. I mean, sugar and cheese, what's not to like? These both go in the fridge until later, and now we're gonna make my husband's absolute favorite cookie of all time, the Butter Spritz cookie. So this cookie is deceptive, and I think it does it on purpose just to be sneaky. One batch is a whole cup of butter, some flour, sugar, vanilla, and salt, and that's it. You can make them completely colorless and they'll be like a really pale yellow from the butter, but it's common to add food coloring and make them fun colors for whatever occasion. But once the really easy cookie dough is made, this is where it gets tricky. These are not simple drop cookies or easy cookie scoop cookies. These are tricksy little cookie press cookies, and working the cookie press is an art form, which is why my sister-in-law always handles this because she's really, really good at it. The catch with the cookie press cookies is that the baking sheet cannot be hot, and it can't have anything else on it. No spray, no silicone, parchment, foil, nothing. And it's even good to avoid non-stick sheets. These old school cookies need old school pans. You blob the dough into the press like you're putting icing in a piping bag, and then press the cookies. If you have a non-hot pan that has nothing on it, the dough should kind of lightly stick to the pan, and there's your cookie. And that press is probably the best press ever made. I'm pretty sure it was my husband's grandmother's cookie press, and we have not found a new one that works even half as well. These little cookies bake at 350 for 8 minutes max, and that's another recipe done. Now that those are finished, we're getting started on the gluten-free, dairy-free lemon blueberry bars because these have a long bake time and they need to cool completely before we cut them, just like the pecan bars. And that title's a mouthful, and it's even harder to say when you have a mouthful of these bars because they're amazing. Soft and light, they're lemony but they're not sour. Sweet blueberry, these are lovely. I mean, I know I say that a lot, but that is the best description I can give for these. They taste lovely, really pleasing and delicate. They start with a crust that includes lemon zest, giving that crust a really nice little hint of lemon. About 2/3 of that crust mixture goes in the bottom of an 8x8 baking dish. Then we whip up the blueberry filling, which is just blueberries, sugar, some lemon juice, and cornstarch. That goes on top of the crust, and then the rest of the crust mixture on top. It bakes for 1 hour at 350, and we use my mom-in-law's convection oven for this to keep the regular oven open since we still have lots of cookies to go. When this comes out and is completely 100% cool, we whip up a quick little glaze of lemon juice and powdered sugar and drizzle that over the top. I mean, these are just beautiful, don't you think? Now it's time for the cookies we chilled before moving on to the rest. First, those Snickerdoodles are calling, so let's get these cooked. Mix up a little cinnamon sugar and use a cookie scoop to make little cookie balls. Roll each cookie ball in the cinnamon sugar, and these are ready to go. Bake these at 375 for 10 to 12 minutes, and the Snickerdoodles are done. Next, we do the same thing with the cream cheese cookies, but these don't need to actually roll in anything. Just make cookie balls and then slightly flatten them to make little cookie patties, and bake these at 375 as well for 9 to 11 minutes, or when the bottoms and the edges start looking a little golden. Yay, 5 things done! Or 4 things done, and 1 still baking since it takes forever. Yeah, I'm looking at you, blueberry bars. I'm looking at you. Okay, now it is time for one of the best cookies ever invented, the coffee toffee cookie. Yeah, say that one 5 times fast. And the name is exactly what it is. Coffee and toffee put together to make a fabulously delicious cookie that is bound to be the one everyone asks for every year. And it's really simple. Just mix everything together, scoop and bake at 350 for 10 to 16 minutes, or until the centers are still a little puffy but the edges are set. Done and done. Alright, next is the Almond Joy Cookies, and these are delicious treats for anyone who is a fan of the candy bar or if you just love chocolate and coconut. These are also about as dump and go as cookies get. Mix the dry, cream the wet ingredients, put them together, stir in the chocolate and coconut, drop by spoonful and bake them at 350 for 9 to 12 minutes. These things are like little spiky chocolate chip cookies. They're just adorable. And my sister-in-law just adores these to bits. Next, and we're starting to feel that marathon now. Whew, huh. But we have jam thumbprints to make, and we have some sweet grape jelly and some tart raspberry jam just waiting in the wings. Now the cookie part of these is pretty simple, and it's sort of a cross between a cream cheese cookie and a sugar cookie. The uniqueness of these is the jam, which means a weird cooking thing. First, we whip up the dough and scoop it into balls, but then use your thumb or spoon or the back of a cookie scoop, whatever, to make divots in the cookie dough. You want to turn that cookie ball into a sort of bowl type thing. Then these need to go in the oven to cook for 10 minutes like this at 350. Then they come out of the oven, but they won't be fully cooked. If the centers of the bowls kind of puffed up too much, use the cookie scoop to gently reshape them, and then spoon little bits of jam into the center. Then these go back in the oven for another 12 to 14 minutes until they're slightly golden, making these the cookies with the longest bake time of the day. Next, we need to start that almond toffee, and this is the only stovetop recipe of the day. We do need to toast the almonds in the oven, but that only takes a few minutes, and we had a free oven at this point because those jam thumbprints were just finishing up. Then the almonds get chopped up, and you can do that by hand or just pop them in a food processor and pulse them up a few times. We also need to get that toffee going on the stove because it takes a bit of time to get it to the right temperature. And this is actually more candy making than baking, but it's okay, we won't tell. The coffee is just sugar, corn syrup, and the secret ingredient, some spiced rum. Bring the mixture to a boil, add the butter, and then it needs to get to 300 degrees on a candy thermometer, which can take anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. But when it hits 300, stir in the salt, baking soda, and a cup of those chopped almonds, and then this needs to be spread out on a silicone-lined baking sheet. And you have to move quick because this starts to set really, really fast. Smooth it out with an oiled spatula because this will also stick to anything it touches. While it sets, melt some chocolate, spread it over the toffee, and sprinkle on the rest of those chopped almonds. Now this has to sit until it's fully cooled and the chocolate is set. If you have a shelf in the fridge with enough space, that would be ideal since it can take a while for this to cool completely. It needs to be at the point where the chocolate is solid and the toffee can be broken apart. And while that toffee's going, it's time for the nemesis. And we're so close we can almost taste it. But now is the time for the cookie that we've all been kinda dreading a little because it's a bit of a pain to make. But you really can't avoid them because they're one of the best cookies in the world, and it's really hard to top the chocolate crinkle cookie. Especially for a cookie gift tin. It has to be there or something's just missing. So, let's get going on this craziness because this is possibly one of the weirdest cookie doughs I have ever seen. It seems like any other cookie, but then you get everything mixed together and it looks more like a cake batter than a cookie dough. And this thing has 3 eggs in it, 3 whole eggs. But this dough gets more solid as it sets, and we even popped it in the fridge for about 10 to 15 minutes. Then use a cookie scoop and plop it in some regular granulated sugar. Next, roll it around in powdered sugar and then bake it at 325 for 9 to 12 minutes. And that is it for the Nemesis Chocolate Crinkle Cookie. Oh my gosh, we're done. Except we have to cut up the pecan bars, so we're not done. That's easy though. We just need to cut up the bars to sizes we like, arrange them nice and pretty on a holiday plate, and now we're done. Wait, blueberry bars. Okay, cut those up, arrange them nice and pretty. Okay, now we're done. We got to my mom-in-law's house around 9 a.m. and now it's almost 6 p.m. and we're done. My feet are emphatically telling me how much they really do not appreciate what I've done to them today, but it is so worth it. So worth it. I mean, look at that spread. This is a beautiful sight to behold, and everything just looks so picture perfect that I almost don't want to eat any of it. Almost. The last thing we need to do today is portion everything out into tins as gifts. We kept plenty for ourselves to enjoy, but these cookies and baked goods are going to make our friends and families so happy when they open their lovely tins of home-cooked treats. This is a great way to give gifts if you're watching your budget for the holidays. And yes, while the ingredients for all this was a little over $150, we were able to make gift tins for family, friends, and even some coworkers, and that is a really great budget for a lot of people. And even though it was a lot of work, we had so much fun making these together as a family. I think that is the biggest thing I'm taking away from the Great Cookie Bake of 2025. It's not the sore feet, the aching back, not being tired, because all that's gonna go away. But the memories of having fun and making good food together, that's something that's never gonna go away, and we loved every minute of it. I hope you're able to make some memories with your families and friends this year. I hope you have the ability to spend at least some of the holidays with people that you love and enjoy being with. You don't have to do a great cookie bake because, wow, that's some work, but any of these would be so much fun to make by themselves, and alone, they're all pretty easy and they don't take long. I mean, except the Nemesis Crinkle Cookies. If that batter doesn't set up, that one's just a nightmare. But it tastes so good that I don't even care. Thank you so much for watching the Great Cookie Bake of 2025. Now this is a yearly tradition for us, so I'll make sure to keep you updated every December with the year's batch of yummies. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the cookie bake this year. Maybe leave me a comment. What are your favorite Christmas cookies? And do you have more self-control than I do when faced with the Coffee Toffee and the Snickerdoodles? Stay tuned next week because I have an extra special recipe and it's going to be a fun challenge to make, and I would love to bring you along for the ride. And every Sunday, I have another cozy home-cooked recipe to share. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I hope to see you back here next Wednesday on Christmas Eve for our last Christmas treat of the season. Bye!